That's ready for everyone else. I think Keela was saying she'll probably do the recorded version of this. I'm not speaking to her. Okay, that's it. We're on YouTube. So, welcome to Upper Body Monday. Let's find ourselves a space, get ourselves nice and warmed up. So just bring ourselves back from the land of slumber into the land of movement. Nicely moving. Let's get that heart rate just up that little bit. That's nicely done. Into some startups, some jumping jacks. Get those big joints moving. Get that synovial fluid flowing. And then back into jogging. Nicely done. We'll kick those out. Right, so this morning we're going to do 5 exercises specifically looking at our upper body. We're going to be working on our lats. That's the big muscles down our backs. And we're also going to be working on our shoulders. So the muscle that goes across the top of our shoulders, our medial delts, as well as those on the back of our shoulders, our rear delts. So we're going to need a set of weights. And as always, start too light rather than too heavy. We're going to start off in a bent over position to do some back rows. So again, your arms are levers, just let them dangle. Concentration's on your back. For me, to try and keep my back nice and straight, I push my backside backwards a bit and how I lift my head, and I can keep my back nice and straight and keep it supported. Then we're going to squeeze our backs to raise the weights up and slowly lower them back down. So if you look at this from the side, then we've got that bent over posture, keep our back as straight as we can, squeeze our back and then gently lower it back down. And let your back stretch out. After we've done that, we're going to stand up straight. I'm going to feet shoulder width apart as we go into some standing lateral raises. I'm going to raise our arms both sides until our hands are at shoulder height and slowly let them return back to our sides. So again, if you look at them from the side angle, all the way up, keeping in line with the body. Our thumb is lower than our little finger. So we keep the engagement with our medial delts. After we've done those, we're going to go for some upright rows. So bring our hands so the palms are facing us. We're going to lift our arms all the way up, keep the weights as close to our body as we can until our elbows get to shoulder height, and then slowly lower them back down. So when you look at that from the side, up to shoulder height, and slowly lowering back down. Once we've completed those, we're going to bring our hands up to our shoulders, our elbows tucked into our sides, and driving our arms up into the air for some shoulder presses. Once we've got there, slowly bring them back down so they're back at shoulder height before squeezing and driving them again. Same as we've done with the lateral raises, try to keep the weights in line with your body. So again, nicely keeping above your body in line with the rest of it. After we've completed those, we're going to go back into our bent over position as we started, as we go into some rear delt flies. So bring your palms facing each other, slight bending your elbows. I'm going to raise the arms to both sides until we feel our shoulder blades start to move. And then I'm going to stop and slowly return back to beginning. So yeah, we'll come side up. It's not a massive movement. And back down. Okay, any questions? Are we good? Excellent, all good to go. So we'll do 10, 10, 12 and 15. So get ourselves back into our bent over position as we start off with our bent over rows. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, standing up straight, we're going to our lateral raises. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, from there it's upright reverse. So weights come up the front of our body. And starting these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, move from there into our shoulder press. So driving our arms right to the ceiling. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and from there, back into our bend over position for our rear delt flies. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, pop the weights down, have a break, grab a drink. I'll pop the timer on. There we are. So you mentioned you had a busy weekend. Frank, did you have a busy weekend as well? What? Now it's all dark. I can't see where
Well, waiting for Frank's answer. I was curious on a weights thing.
Hmm?
We've been doing this a while, and this is an interesting set because a lot of these ones I'm right in between a lower weight and a upper weight, right?
Yeah.
Something you mentioned saying start lighter weights. I get that. Like as a warm up, tell your body, get the movements,
Mhm.
especially after a weekend, that kind of thing. Um, what is the and so most of it I started with a lighter weight this first set, and we have
Mhm.
4 sets. What's the recommended progression from, let's say, just for the sake of argument, I'm between 5 and 10 kilos with whatever exercise, it doesn't matter. 5 is pretty easy, 10 is quite hard, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Is it a 1 and 3 situation? Is it a 2 and 2? You know, is it a 3 and 1?
So you always want to be able to try and fail on your final set. That's always the aim.
Right?
Your earlier sets are all about how can you exhaust muscle, how can you get them warmed up, how can you make sure you're working on your form, so that when you do fail on your final set, you're failing because your muscles have failed, not because you're doing it badly or anything else like that. So always kind of save the weights, the highest weights, until you get to that set. And if you don't make the number of reps, that doesn't matter. It's perfectly okay. And then on the early ones, the first set you can go incredibly light. It literally is, it's a practice round. It's just getting to the point where you've got everything moving again, because we've not done these for maybe a week. So it's just getting back into the flow, making sure you've got that mind muscle connection coming up. Your second set after that, if you can increase it a little bit. So for example, if you've got the 5 to 10 kind of ratio, if you had a 5, a 7.5, and a 10, then you might
Yeah.
start at 5s if they're really easy. You might move to 7.5, or maybe sets 2 and 3, and then move on to the 10s for your set 4. And that's how you potentially look to progress those ones.
Yeah, but not having that. So
Yeah.
is it not having that? Would it do 2 and then 2, or did 3 and then 1? Really is the
It
question.
depends on whether you fail on the 10s on set number 3. If you fail on set number 3 with your 10s, you probably want to stick to the 5s. But when your 5s get just too light, then fail on set number 3, and then just try to meet the same number of reps on set number 4. So if you've got 10s, for example, and you fail at 12 reps, then on set number 4, try to get 12 reps again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try again set 2.
We are going to do set number 2. Put all our wonderful learning into action. Okay. Yeah. So starting with bent over rows. Ourselves into position. This time, really concentrate on that feeling in your back. Really feel your back squeeze as you're pulling them towards you. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, standing up straight, changing our focus now into our medial delts, muscles that run along the top of our shoulders. So again, try and squeeze them as much as we can to raise our arms. Starting these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, switching to palms facing. So facing our body as we go into upright rows, staying with our focus on our shoulders. So really feel those deep medial delts squeeze as you raise your elbows up. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and from there, we're going to move into our shoulder press. So again, still focusing on our medial delts. And we'll drive our arms into the air, starting in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Back into our bent round position from the start as we go for our rear delt flies. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, got the weights down, have a break, grab a drink. Okay. How was your weekend, Frank?
Yeah, it was my weekend. I had Friday my mastermind with my quality bookings, the agency I signed up with.
Yeah.
And every month we have a mastermind together. And he picks always a beautiful, beautiful location. And then you talk with 5 speakers. And yeah, that's really interesting how to build up your compass, your passport, your speaker's passport, where they can pick you up, you know. And it's really funny that he made an example of, he's calling it Irma of the Rabobank. And Irma is somebody from the biggest bank here in Holland, who they spend between 3 and 4 million on speakers for all events in Holland. He said, well, think about Irma. And if Irma thinks, hey, this passport, we need this guy. So you need to pick the eyes of Irma.
Yeah.
Now, Irma must see you. And the way you do it doesn't matter, but she has to pick your passport. And then you're in. because Irma is the deciding person in everything. So it's really interesting how to. I know if I'm on stage, I'm unstoppable, but to come there is a different piece of cake.
No, definitely, and it's an interesting opportunity. I mean, I think I was reading somewhere that like Tony Blair, when he finished being Prime Minister, he was able to charge like hundreds of thousands for those kind of stage appearances for big corporations such as big banks. So yeah, I can imagine that budget would get used up quite quickly when you start to bring in some real talents. If you're kind of drawing that kind of attention, that's absolutely fantastic. Nicely done.
If Irma picks you, then a lot of people under Irma will also pick you.
Nice.
But Irma is the one who has to pick you.
The good news is I'm going to pick you guys for doing set number 3. So how's that?
Surprising. That you picked us.
I did. Everyone gets picked on a morning, definitely. No one gets left out. Okay, so back into our bento position. And we're going to our bento back rows. Okay, so think about speed here. Use gravity. So faster on the way up, slower on the way back down. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, from there back to standing up straight. Let's go into our lateral raises. I'll start these in. So same again. So faster on the way up, squeeze it for a moment, slower on the way back down. I'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Bringing our weights in front of us, palms facing as we go into our upright rows. And we'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and from there into our shoulder press. Exactly the same again, fast on the way up, slow and controlled on the way down. Starting in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. And from there, back into our bento position as we go back into our rear delt flies. And we'll start these in 3, 2, 1. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Have a break, grab a drink. I was talking about your crowdfunding that you did, Jason, actually, the other day with a lady. She was an actor. and she puts on solo shows, and she was quite distraught because she'd kind of missed her funding submission for the Arts Council. So she was kind of really worried about how she was going to get funded. And I says, well, there's different ways of getting funded. And I says, a friend of mine, Jason, I says, he's fantastic. He did a book, an anthology book, and I showed her the page, etc. for it. And I said it was all crowdfunded. I says basically got that so they could get it published and make it work and things, and people wanted to support it. It drove not only the funding side, but actually made people really interested in what was happening with the project. And it says it's a brilliant project. So yeah, so I was discussing about it and trying to make her feel better. Actually, there's different routes that she could go for funding.
Yeah, it's cool. Except the thing is that you can't just put it up and money comes in. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's
I
not,
think sometimes
it's not ideal. It's like,
yeah. Some people just seem to think about just the traditional way of doing things and no other way, and
right. That's a good point. Right.
be a bit more creative sometimes.
Right.
Bit like set number 4, really. Well, I'm not entirely sure how it's moving, but okay, last and final set. Let's bring it all together. This we're going to make it all count. So this is where if you're going to go to failure, this is the one set to do it on. So don't aim for a number, aim for a feeling. The feeling here is absolute everything you can throw at it. So make it with good form, great connection with those muscles, so you're firing up as many muscle fibers as you can, and brilliant speed. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, from there, standing up straight, let's go back into our lateral raises, feeling our medial delts. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, turning our palms facing us. Let's go to upright rows. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, and from there, I'm going to go up into our shoulder press. And we'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. Then back into our mental position. Let's go into our rear delt flies. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, pop the weights down, grab yourself a drink, and that's the end of the body session for this week. We're going to have a full week of sessions this week, so it should be all good fun. So tomorrow's low body, Wednesday core, Thursday upper body, and Friday back to low body. Plus, we've got a Saturday, stretch Saturday, because it's the first Saturday of the month. So hopefully see you guys for some of those, if not all of them. And as always,
I'm here only Monday to Wednesday.
just Monday, Wednesday this week, yeah? Got a busy week?
No, just traveling actually. So
Okay.
no chances for that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a stretch Saturday, but doubt it. Highly doubt it. So, thank you. It was interesting just to follow up on the failing thing.
Mhm.
Throughout the 4, I kind of gradually added the weights on the ones that I felt were quite easy, but the ones that I felt were quite hard, I only did on the 3rd or 4th.
Mhm.
I think I failed in 2 of the 6 or the 5 exercises. And when I mean failed, I got to like, I just had to slow down
Mhm.
at like rep 10. I didn't quite keep the pace. I count
Yeah.
that as failing, you know.
I mean, slowing down is okay as long as it's not a stop. And again, when you think about failure, so for example, if you're doing things like lateral raises, when you start to fail, a couple of things that tend to happen is you twist your arms up slightly, and then you end up with this kind of weird, I'm going to exaggerate, but you end up with this like weird position where you use your biceps.
Yeah.
So that'd be a clear failure because it's the form that fails. Or you're in a position where you can't really get much further than here, and at that point, you know you're completely exhausted. And there is value in doing things like partial reps, so you just do that. But what we'll try to do with here is just really keeping it quite simple in the morning, and then it's just literally as soon as you start to fail, then you know that's it. You know you've done. Then you know you're working safely as well.
Yeah, good stuff.
Cool.
Well, thank you for that as always, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Will do. Have a great day.
Yes.